How do we know the differences between our friends and our foes, in our circumstances, in our circles? By how they treat you, not by what they say, but what they actually do. So you have to realize that there are people on the earth that don't have empathy. They don't have compassion. They are lacking these things. Their conscience is seared with a hot iron. They're able to do things without feeling bad about it. And a lot of you have people in your life that feel this way, but you're in denial of it. See, some people are just mean. There are people who are just assholes. That's just the way they are. That's the way they're going to be, and that's the way that they treat people. That's the way they treat themselves and others. When you see a person that has this capability of treating people wrong, treating people bad, never apologizing, never taking responsibility for their actions, they just lash out or point the finger at other people and talk about what other people do. They never take responsibility for their own actions. They have no self-accountability. That's no friend to you. That's no spouse to you. That's not an acquaintance you should have in your life. And a lot of you are just making excuses for people's bad behavior. When are you going to stop making excuses for the bad behavior of other people? Saying, oh, well, they just did that because of this. Or they just did that because of this. When they've shown you over and over and over what kind of character they have. Because like I said, some people are just mean people. They're mean. They're assholes. And you make excuses for it when they show you the good behavior, the positive behavior every now and again. You see? In this world we live in is so flipped that everything is being manipulated. Where the good is called evil and the evil is called good. That's what they call, that's how this world is. In this world they call evil good and they call good evil. So when you start telling the truth to people, they're going to start to hate you. And then you're going to say that scripture that says, have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? See, people don't want to be told the truth. They want to be lied to. They want to be told that they're perfect. They want to be told that they do no wrong, they make no mistakes. And it's just lies and bullshit. A true friend will tell you the truth lovingly. A true spouse will tell you the truth lovingly. And guide you to a better position, a better place, a better vibration, a better state of being. They can't force you there, but they will guide you there. Come up here where it's better. Come up here where the air is better. Come up here where the thinking is better. That's all you can do for a person. You can't force them. Some people just like being in the basement. They like being in that low-ass vibration. They like being fucking assholes. They like being mean. They like treating people like shit. Because that's how they feel about themselves. And so they project that onto you. You always are this, and you always do this, and you're always like this, and you're always like this. When those are lies. When those are lies. They're called the accuser in the Bible. It's called the accuser. See, you all are talking about the devil and Satan. You understand these terms? Do you understand what they mean? When it says Satan, the adversary, the accuser, the one who's accusing you. You see, because there are people who don't do any good. They only seek to steal, kill, and destroy. And those people are called good on this earth. They're called philanthropists on this earth. They're called charitable people. These are all lies. But that's the world that you live in. We don't live in a world where people call a spade. Where people are telling the truth about what they're looking at. We don't live in that world. We live in the world where people lie. So how many people in your life right now, that so-called friends, acquaintances, or whatever words you want to come up with, how many of those people are actually truly your friend? Truly. To seek to uplift you. They're patient with you and kind with you. How many people right now, the people you're in a relationship with, that they're kind and they're patient with you? Honestly. Or are you constantly arguing? Are you always fighting? is there always strife? Is there no tenderness there? No kindness? No mercy? No grace? No, none of these things. Why is that? Because you're not looking at a friend. You're looking at an enemy. You're looking at an adversary. You're looking at an accuser. You're looking at a deceiver. Or in the scriptures, the words we use are devil and Satan. Devil means deceiver. Satan means adversary. So when we say these words, we're actually saying an adversary or a deceiver. Now, how many people in your life have adversaries or deceivers? Devils or Satan in your life? You see? You see? But as long as you refuse to accept it, you'll be caught in the loop of that cycle of whatever that relationship is. You'll find yourself being in the same relationship, even though it's a different person. It's the same relationship over and over until you jump out of that loop. You've been with 4 people, and all 4 people are the same. They all treat you the same. They all talk to you the same. They all do the same things to you because you're not changing. You're not switching up your vibration. You're not choosing to change who you deal with, to change who you are inside, the I am you are. So you can only look at everybody else through the lenses that you look at yourself. So if you're not patient, you're not kind to yourself, if you're hateful to yourself, if you're selling yourself short, you'll do the same thing with other people. You can only treat somebody as good as you treat yourself, see? You can only love your neighbor as you love yourself. So how many of you are experiencing true love in your relationships, in your friendships, your friends or foes? How many are you experiencing true love there? When somebody has a discrepancy or an issue with you, you're a friend, and they come to you and they say, hey, I'm feeling neglected. I'm feeling like, we haven't talked lately, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling that. If the person just gets defensive with you, oh, well, you haven't called me, well, you haven't done this, you haven't touched me, you haven't this. You're going to be in a world of hurt dealing with a person like that. So this person can't take accountability. They're not able to hear you when you say, hey, I have this issue with you. They don't say, okay, well, let me just talk about it. How are you feeling? Well, I'm feeling neglected. Okay, well, I apologize about that. What have I done to make you feel that way? Well, we haven't talked in about a week. You haven't called me. We haven't hung out. We haven't this. We haven't that. I'm feeling like, I'm feeling neglected as a friend or in a relationship. Okay, I understand. I noticed that I have done that. I haven't talked to you lately. So I will take responsibility for that. I apologize if you feel neglected about that. People are not having conversations like that. They're going, hey, I'm feeling neglected. You feel like you haven't called me? Well, shit, I've been busy. You ain't called me. You can call me just like I'm calling you. Wickedness like a motherfucker, man. It's not kind or patient. You're not hearing the whole matter before you answer. It makes you a fool. See, y'all are quick to speak, but not quick to listen. You're not quick to hear what another person's issue is or what another person's going through before you respond. You're not quick to hear their position and understand it before you respond to it, before you react to it. Everybody's in their damn feelings. They don't want to be mistreated. Everybody's got that same mentality. I'm not going to be mistreated. People are going to respect me. But you're not respecting yourself and you're mistreating yourself. So before we deal with the foes on the outside of ourselves, are we dealing with the foes on the inside of ourselves? Those thoughts that speak adversely to us. Are we dealing with that before we go out and try to deal with another person? Because if you're not dealing with that internal world and being kind and loving to yourself, then you're not going to be able to do that with someone else. You're going to do the same thing you do to yourself with someone else. Do you understand that? So if you're impatient with yourself and unkind to yourself, same thing you're going to do to others. So are you a friend or a foe today? Are you a true friend? Are you patient? Are you kind? Are you long-suffering? Are you seeking not your own? Are you envying not this person? Let's talk about that for a minute. Do you have envy towards your friend? Because if you do, then they're not your friend. Envy is one of the lowest vibrations you can feel. It is the lowest vibration you can feel. So if you have envy one toward another, then you don't have love. You're not friends. You are not married. You see? It says, let the two become one flesh. One flesh, one person, guys. The male and female principles are one person. They're not two people. The male and the female make the whole of the one. So when you're looking at a so-called husband and wife, they should be one person, not two separate people. But we want to change Abba's ways. We want to change the ways of the Most High, the way He's created things. He says this is what matrimony is, and we want to change it and make it until it's comfortable for us. He says this is what male and female is. We want to change it around and make it something that fits us. That's our problem on this earth, guys. We're trying to make things convenient for us instead of going with the ways of the Most High. He's already told us how to do this, how to live in harmony, how to live in peace, how to deal with each other lovingly. But we don't choose His ways. We choose the ways of this world, and that's what our problem is, guys. That's why your friendships fall. That's why your marriages are falling. That's why you're unsuccessful in life. That's why you're unhappy. That's why everything is the way that it is. Because you don't choose the Most High's ways. You're not humble. You're not kind. You're not patient with one another. You're seeking your own. You're not seeking the best interests of other people around you, mutually beneficial situations. You're not seeking that. You don't pray for your brothers and your sisters because you don't know how to pray. You know how to beg God for things that you want. You don't know how to pray. You don't know the proper way of praying for the will of the Most High to be done. Because He has a perfect will for you and me. He has already written out our lives in a way that's perfect for us. But we kick against the pricks thinking that's not going to keep us happy. Chasing after things that we think are going to make us happy and they don't. So while we're on the subject of friend or foe, are you your own friend today or are you your own foe? Because if you are your own foe, then you're going to be the foe to everybody else in your life. You can't be a friend to yourself. Do you know how to give yourself grace? When you make a mistake, do you give yourself grace or do you give yourself judgment? Because by what measure you meet, so shall it be measured unto you. Which means the way you are treating people is the way you're going to be treated. Do you understand that? Do you all hear that? When you're treating people like fucking assholes? When you're talking to people like they ain't shit? When you're being a fucking asshole because you had a bad day and so everybody else around you got to have a fucking bad day now? By what measure you meet, so shall it be measured unto you. So if you got a chippy ass attitude, you're going to be around somebody who has a chippy ass attitude. If you're an impatient ass person, you're going to be around somebody who's impatient. To show you who you are, to mirror you. You see? And if you are one of those people who claim to be a friend, spouse, whatever, that's what you claim you are, then are you adhering to these things? Are you being kind and patient when your person comes to you with an issue? Are you dealing with it lovingly or are you dealing with it judgmentally? Are y'all self-checking today? Are you looking inside yourself, seeing if you did your part today before you accuse someone else of not doing theirs? Were you loving and kind today before you lashed out at that other person for being unkind and unloving to you? Because like I said, you reap what you sow. What measure you meet shall be measured again unto you. These are laws. These are your universal laws that you have to come into harmony with. You can't battle against these things. If you fight and kick against these universal laws, you'll lose. Torah wins every time. That's what's determining who lives in this land or not. It's whether they're living with Torah or not. Living in the land with love. If you're not living in the land with love, then you're living in the land with hatred, fears. Which is what you see, guys. This little block of land is mine. That little block of land is over there for you. It's a reservation for you over there. This block of land is for me. This resource is for me. You're not going to have any of those resources. Here, I found some water. That water's for me. And so everybody's living on the earth. Mine, 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 mine. A bunch of fucking badass kids that know how to share shit. Because y'all got fear and not think it's enough. Y'all got fear, you don't think it's enough. When nature's all telling you, don't see the fucking animals fighting over fucking air. You don't see them fighting over fucking water. It's enough for everybody. So when you all walking around here with a fucking chip on your shoulder and got a fucking attitude because something you go your way today, then you're out of line, not someone else. So before y'all start lashing out at other people about whether they're being your friend or whether they're being a good spouse to you or whether they're being a good this to you or a good that to you, or you being a good friend to yourself, you talk kindly to yourself. It's about self-checking today, Israel. Nothing else. Siluam.